YouTube, this is Erica and welcome back to Not Your Mama's Makeup. Today's videos is going to be all about foundation. A lot of times when I'm with friends, when I meet people, when I meet other moms, they tell me that they really like my makeup and they would like to play with some makeup as well, but they don't know from where to start. And I understand that because if you're a beginner, you might walk into Sephora or Ulta and get overwhelmed. You might know where to look at or what to buy. The first thing to know is what type of skin do you have. So you could have dry skin, combination skin, or oily skin. This is a very important step because knowing what does your skin need will help you purchase the right type of foundation that will accommodate your needs. So in my case, I tend to have combination skin. I might have some dry patches around my under eye areas and sometimes around my mouth and nose, but typically I get quite oily in my T-zone. Also, you should know, or you should think about what type of coverage you want from your foundation. I personally love full coverage foundation. I love that airbrush effect, but not everybody does. And that's totally fine. The important thing, once again, is knowing what you will like and what and how you would like to see yourself. So today I'm gonna show you some of the foundations that I've been using, I've been testing, and I've been playing with for the past year. I have all of them in front of me. I arrange them from lowest price to highest price, except two that I currently do not have with me, but I will link the information for you in the section down below. Let's start with the first foundation, which is by Wet n Wild. It's been a great hit all over the web. It's called the Photo Focus Foundation. So I clearly bought the wrong shade for me because I purchased this online, but it's still been, I've been using this to highlight some of the areas on my face or maybe to correct a little of dark spots. But so far, I would say that this is a good foundation. The price is really reasonable. It's $5.99. You can find this one at Ulta, at Walmart, at Walgreens, honestly any retailer that might sell drugstore brands. It comes with a little spatula and you don't need a lot of products because it's quite liquid and creamy, as you can see. But I think this would be a good foundation for beginners because I think that the applicator would make it easy to dot a couple of drops of the products all over your face, and then you're ready to blend it. Last video I told you that I was going to tell you more about different ways of applying foundation. You'll see that a lot of people recommend using a flat brush like this. This is my least favorite way of applying foundation. I don't find it useful, to me at least. I don't find it very easy. But technically you would have to do something along this line with movements that drag the product down. Now, dragging the product down works with any way of applying foundation, and the reason is this. If you have fine hair all over your face, doing this, so upward strokes, it's gonna make that hair rise and it's gonna give you a lot of texture throughout your face, so you don't want to do that. One of my favorite ways of applying foundation is using a dense compact brush like this one with circular motions going down. You could also use a paddle brush like this one, or as I showed you in last video, you could use a beauty blender. Beauty blenders come in different shapes, and beauty blender actually and technically it's the name of the brand. These are called, like, I guess, makeup sponges. I have this one. This one, it's a dupe for a real beauty blender. A lot of them come, I'm sorry, these are all dirty, I need to clean them, with flat edges to apply powder. The second foundation that I was going to talk to you about is by Maybelline, and it's the Matte Poreless Foundation. Now, once again, since I told you that I tend to get oily, I have the matte version. They also have a dewy version for people with dry skin or for people who would like a more dewy effect on their skin. This one has been my go-to foundation for the summer. I love it. It stays on. It's It feels really good on the skin. The only problem is that it doesn't come with a pump or an applicator. So it gets a little bit, you know, annoying to get the product out when it's about to be finished, but you can still use it. And honestly, you could buy even like little pumps to put on top of it and use it. I forgot to mention the price of this one. I believe it's $5.99 as well. Once again, Ulta, Walgreens, Walmart, you're gonna find this. A discovery for me has been this foundation. The brand is Cover Proof. Now, this brand has become famous with their eyebrow product, which is called Wonder Brow. They were running a special over Black Friday, so I decided to purchase it because it had really good reviews on the online community, especially on Facebook and Instagram. I believe that when I bought it, they had 25% off and it was $21, but originally it's anywhere around between $33 and $38, I want to say. Pretty average price for medium to higher hand foundations. The prices that I mentioned to you before, like the one by Maybelline or by Wet n Wild, these are considered drugstore and lower end foundations, hence the price. But when we start moving towards higher hand brands, foundations typically range anywhere between $30 and $60. This foundation comes with a pump. It has very high coverage, and I think it holds very well throughout the day on the skin. I'm in the shade N20 Light, and you can go check this out directly on their website. Honestly, when I've been wearing this, I had people asking me what foundation I was wearing because my skin looked really good. It gives you a really nice photoshopped effect. But if you're not into that type of finish, you should probably be looking into something that is more natural. And I'm gonna mention some foundations later on in this video that might give you that effect, which is not as airbrush, as fake, I guess you could say. One of the most discussed launches of 2017 has definitely been Fenty by Rihanna, the beauty line by Rihanna. One of the reasons why this foundation line was so successful and has become so famous, it's because Rihanna launched 40 shades. Now, if you follow a little bit, or if you're part of the beauty community, you know that shade ranges are a big issue because it's 2018 and we're still struggling to find shades for darker people, for darker skin tones, and that's absolutely ridiculous. But Rihanna did something quite revolutionary because she covered pretty much everybody, matching even their undertones and having from the fairest you could find to the darkest shade you could find. I'm in the shade 200. This is the Pro Filt'r foundation. I forgot to mention that. Now, I believe that this foundation is not a good fit for beginners. And here's the reason why. You have to shake it well before using. It comes with a pump. It's an extremely liquid formula. You have to be extremely quick when applying, and you have to blend it before it dries. This foundation has an extremely matte finish to the point where it almost looks powdery. So if you're not fast at blending this one, you're not gonna get the result that you want because you're not going to be able to blend it correctly into your skin. But other than that, I think that this is at least worth looking into because the shade range, it's almost unbeatable. I think that as of right now, there's only NARS that came out with a lot of ranges as well with one of their latest launches. The Maybelline Fit Me line has quite a few shades. So I would say that depending on what you're looking for, depending if you would like really to match your skin tone, I will look into Maybelline, Fenty, or NARS. A foundation that I used a lot last winter, but I've a little bit abandoned this winter because I bought some newer stuff, has been the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. Now this one is extremely high coverage, but I feel that on me at least it tends to dry a little bit. There's not much to say about this one except that I kind of broke and tore apart this poor bottle, but it's a good foundation. It's a little bit harder to work into your skin because it's so thick that when you put it on, you really have to blend it, whether with a beauty blender or a brush. I personally always use a brush with the Kat Von D foundation, that it can be a little bit complicated, at least for beginners. Did I say complicated? I meant complicated, at least for beginners. And I'm so sorry, I forgot to mention the price. The Kat Von D foundation is $35 and Rihanna is $36. So Fenty is $36. Once again, pretty average prices for foundations. Now, to stay on the line of this type of brands, I mentioned Kat Von D, I mentioned Rihanna. I'm gonna talk about the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. First of all, the packaging of this one is just beautiful. It comes with a pump. This foundation really lasts a long time. I've been having, actually I'm wearing this foundation today. I've been wearing it for about 12 hours now, and I would say that it still looks really good. Maybe it's a little bit coming off on the side of my nose, but other than that, I pretty much never touched it up throughout the day. I worked all day. I took my kid to the pool, so I would say this one is a really good foundation. The price is $40. The only problem with this foundation is that it oxidizes a lot. What does oxidize mean? It means that it tends to turn a little bit orange. So what I did when I matched myself at Sephora, I bought it half a shade lighter. So this foundation comes in shades that are like 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. I got a 4.0. I'm in the shade 4.0 instead of 4.5 because once I put it on, it was quite orange. I would say this one it would be probably great if now that we're going towards the summer, where I'm gonna get a little bit more color, you know, a little bit more tanned, then I think this could be a good ally. And it's also waterproof, and honestly, it's really a great foundation. Now I would like to talk about an infamous foundation that shook the beauty community, and it's Tarte Shape Tape Foundation. Now, probably a lot of you might not know this because, once again, these videos are targeted for people who are beginners in the beauty community, but I would like to make a disclaimer. When I bought this foundation, I did before hearing all the discussions that went around and were directed, rightfully so, towards Tarte, because I was extremely curious and I love Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I just wanted to see if the foundation would live up to the expectations. The problems that have surrounded this foundation concern the shade range. Now, they launched with 15 shades, which were not at all inclusive towards people with darker skin tones. With this being said, Tarte said that they were going to release new shades. I'm not trying to justify them. I think they should have waited at this point to have the entire line, you know, out of production and have it launched all together. But here I'm just giving some tips on products that I personally liked, and I like this foundation. I do really like it. The only problems that I found with this one is that it doesn't last that long. I would say probably 6-7 hours, which is still a great amount of time for a foundation, but compare, for example, the all-nighter, it doesn't hold up the same. I have the matte finish. Once again, they came out with a dewy finish or hydrating finish. That's how they call it. So if you don't want that full coverage airbrushed effect, I would go towards the dewy hydrating finish. But I do really like this foundation, and what I like about it, it's pretty much a gigantic version of the concealer. It comes with the same doe foot applicator, so you can just evenly, you know, apply it on your face by dotting it and then blending it with a beauty blender. For the last part of this video, I'm going to mention three brands. Two are fairly new to me. One I discovered through Facebook and honestly infomercials on cable TV. I'm talking about IT Cosmetics. Now, IT Cosmetics, it's a brand owned by Jamie Kern, who's the founder, who has really bad rosacea. And she decided to develop a foundation, or not a foundation, but a makeup brand that includes a lot of skincare properties within. A lot of her products have SPF, have anti-aging properties, have a lot of ingredients that are also targeted not only for makeup but for skincare. For example, all of her foundations have SPF in it, and they have 50 SPF. I used several times her CC, or IT Cosmetics CC cream. Now, CC stands for color correcting. So it's a, it says color correcting full coverage cream, anti-aging hydrating serum plus 50 SPF. So you can see that inside there's not just a foundation, but there's more than that. There's an SPF, there's anti-aging, cream and things like that. I think this is a good product. It's very easy to use. It comes with a little pump. I think this would be really good for people who might start to have a more mature skin. But I'm 27 and I've been using it and I think it's good. I don't think it's as full coverage as advertised. I would use this more towards the summer, the spring, the summer. It has a little bit of a more of a sheer finish, which I think it's very appropriate for spring and summer, and it leaves you a little bit more of a dewy effect. So definitely I would check IT Cosmetics out. They sell it at Ulta and they sell it on their own website online, but it's definitely worth looking into. This one is $36. So they have the CC cream, and then they have a compact press powder. Now on this one I actually hit pan. I need to buy a new one, but I do like it, and I was very skeptical at first because I typically never buy powder foundations, but this one has an incredible coverage for being a powder. So if you're looking for something a little bit lighter on your skin that you might not feel, that you might not, actually detect on your skin, and I know that a lot of girls do not like feeling the products on your skin, I would check this out. It's $36 once again. I like applying it with a big brush. I don't care if that's not probably the most appropriate way. I like doing this, and then once again in circular motions going around all over my face. So definitely check IT Cosmetics out. If you never heard of it, do a little bit of research. The owner is actually a really nice, approachable person. She seems really nice. The only bad thing about IT Cosmetics is the shade range once again. But if you're lucky enough to have fair skin or medium, skin, I would give it a try. So I've been working at a hair salon for the past 3 months. I work the front desk, and the esthetician there, her name is Emily. By the way, hi Emily, if you're watching this video, I love you so much. She uses all products by Image. Image is another skincare line that does makeup as well. This is the Eye Conceal foundation, flawless foundation. So honestly, I've been loving this foundation. This is the one that I used in my first video. I love applying it with a beauty blender, and I think it gives you a really, really nice coverage. The effect is sheer, so it's not too dewy, but it's not matte at all. So I like putting it on and then setting it with, setting powder to give it a little bit more of a matte effect. But other than that, I would recommend this foundation. Now, this one comes, this foundation has 30 SPF in it, and it has good, ingredients in here as well, but it's $59. So yes, Image is an expensive skincare line, but they do have phenomenal products. So if you're feeling about you know, if you're feeling like you want to splurge and pamper yourself, go check Image out. Lastly, it's a foundation that I'm still testing. I'm still not entirely sure how to use it, at least on me. It's by this online brand which is called Limelight by Alcone. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. A friend of mine from Missouri actually became a representative for Limelight, and I thought I would support her business by trying it. We have a little unexpected guest. This foundation comes in this compact packaging. From my understanding, it's a wax-based foundation. People who use Limelight, please, if I'm wrong, correct me. Comment down below and tell me if I got this totally wrong. Now, I've been trying to apply this with a beauty blender. I'm gonna try again with a couple of different brushes, because I think it's a valid product. I think it could potentially be an awesome foundation with great coverage. I still have to figure out how to use it, because I never had anything like this and never used anything like this. But so this is it. I loved filming this video, you guys. I hope you had fun watching me. I would love for you if you could subscribe to my channel, if you could support me in this new adventure. It would mean the world to me. I love you all, and thank you. I'll see you next video. Hey everyone, this is Alistair. Say hi, Alistair. Okay, there you go. Now you can go and mommy can finish her tutorial, okay?
No.
Yes.